Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Azeroth Daily for the 21st of December 2010. My name is TotalBiscuit, bringing you your daily dose of WoW news and comment. In the headlines today, latest round of hotfixes is out once again, folks, and my pick of the litter for this one would be that Archaeology has now been made easier. The search radius to find an Archaeology node from the Archaeology Ability Survey has been increased, which means you need to search fewer times in order to actually find the artifact while staying within the green range of surveying. So you have a higher margin for error there. Those of you complaining about Archaeology being a little bit too fiddly might be very pleased about that change. Also, possibly the most amusing change is Highlands Turkeys in Twilight Highlands are now coming out to play for achievements. Considering the amount of corruption surrounding that land, I'm surprised they don't have 3 heads. It is a little bit of a slow day in the news, considering it's coming up to Christmas. That shouldn't surprise any of you. However, there are some nice wallpapers and fan arts available now in the newly updated media section over on Blizzard's website. You can go and check them out in the link below. And in the background, just a few samples of what's available. Nice little wallpaper of the stone core there, available in a variety of sizes, as well as some fairly cool fan art. I've got to pick this one out, actually, because as much as I absolutely despise chibi art, I've got to say that this little Nerubian right here is possibly the best thing ever. Yeah, I believe that is a Nubrakan, and it is cute as hell. Kind of looks like a Baneling. Let me just... Yes, indeed. There you go. And with that, it's time for your Daily Blues. A cowardly level 1 forum alt comes out with a post that says that hit rating is a fun tax. Yes, indeed, and it should be taken out because you have to get it at the expense of other stats, and it's just not fun anymore. Right, I don't think I would agree with that, honestly. I find that actually being able to hit things is very fun indeed. Daxari responds and says, of course, what a lot of us sensible people already knew, which is, fun is very subjective, and part of the fun can be tinkering with stats, tuning and optimizing and things like that. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that's part of an RPG. I don't see what all the crying is all about. The comparison to Eve is also nonsense as well, I might add. Yes, indeed, you have to spend time in Eve, or at least you had to spend time in Eve, getting the learning skills to optimize your character down the road. Yeah, I get that, but that's not how WoW system actually works. Training skills in Eve is based on actual time. Ergo, you are restricted by time from getting stuff that is fun, like the ability to fly new ships. And if you don't get the learning skills, then your learning becomes suboptimal. This is not the case in WoW, and indeed you can get hit gear that has other stuff on it, so I don't really see what the point is here. A little bit of a fallacious argument, and Daxari does have multiple responses to all of this, including this one, which as far as I'm concerned is a nice little smackdown and a reminder to people that your opinion is absolutely worthless unless you quantify it with the word because. Opinion and fact, not the same thing. I hope you got your rafts out, folks, because Synthar is crying a river of tears here over heroics, which are hard. I don't care what your self-righteous fools think. They should be nerfed in damage by 25%. What, 25%? Are you sure that's right? What about 26? What about 30? Are you sure that 25% is the optimal number to nerf it down in order to get it down to the level of your awful? Lilara responds in an attempt to kill the OP with kindness, as opposed to my method, which is to kill him with a rain of bricks, and comes up with a number of tips in order to not suck at dungeons. In reality, this could actually be useful for some people if you are very new to the game, or you've just got Cataclysm, or maybe even you just started with Wrath, so I'd recommend you have a read of them. They might be helpful to you. And a nice little post to cap us off here. Nice and simple. Two-Line is really enjoying the Collector's Edition soundtrack, and Lilara responds with her or he, I don't even know. Is that male, female? I don't know. And is a big fan of the track Castaways from the official soundtrack. Castaways, which would be this one. There you go. Isn't that fantastic? I would actually like to know, here's a bit of a comment question of the day for you. Which is your favorite piece of World of Warcraft music? Let me know in the comments section below this video. Yes, indeed. I would like to hear what you have to say. And now you're saying, oh god, who are you and what have you done with the real TotalBiscuit? And with that, it's time for your daily grind. This quest right here, you might have seen in my secret Hyjal achievement video. This is how you do it correctly, as some people keep trying to tell me. Apparently you don't throw the bears into the fire. This is not a particularly enjoyable quest because it takes so long to get at the bloody tree. Oh, wow. They use vehicle mechanics for this, and climbing the tree involves using Control 1 or Control 2, and there's such a big delay on it. It's just so very, very silly. I appreciate trying to make the quest a little bit different, but this one's just awkward. Let's be honest here. And with that, it's time for your weekly feature, and today it's Raid or Die. The rankings are starting to shift, ladies and gentlemen, as more heroic boss kills are coming in, and Insidia is sitting on the top spot right now with 4 bosses killed, and was responsible for the world first of heroic Cimarron. It's currently the only guild to have actually killed that boss in heroic mode. Premonition, currently sitting at number 4 from US Senjin, brought you the world first Maloriak heroic kill. They were also the first people in the world to experience the temporary, sadly temporary title, which is Slayer of Stupid, Incompetent, and Disappointing Minions, which I think is absolutely fantastic and should be made permanent. Currently in the top 20, we have 12 Horde guilds and 8 Alliance guilds. The top US guild at the moment is sitting at number 4 on the world rankings and comes from Senjin. It's, of course, the one and only Premonition. There are 12 EU guilds currently in the top 20, 6 American guilds, and entering the top 20, we have 1 guild from Taiwan. That would be Stars. You might remember them. I believe they got world first Yogg-Saron plus 0 kill back in Wrath of the Lich King. That was a very impressive display. And they are currently sitting at number 6 from the Taiwanese server Crystal Pine Stinger. We've also got an entry from a Korean guild sitting in 20th place on the world rankings from the Blackmoor server. I'd love to tell you the name of the guild, but I can't pronounce it because I can't read Korean. Also proud to say that my homies, Afenjurs Inc., also known as 8 Boys Inc., the top German guild in the world as far as I'm aware at the moment, currently has 2 heroic bosses down, and I look forward to bringing you footage of some of their more exciting kills. I've got Nefarian, I've got Cho'Gall, I've got Alakia, all videos ready to be commentated right here. It's going to be fantastic, so thank you very much to the 8 Boys Inc., SK Gaming, and of course their sponsors for that one. More cool statistics, ladies and gentlemen. What is the top ranked realm in the world? Well, Illidan was up there last week, but Illidan has fallen down to number 2 in the world rankings. They are still the number 1 US PvE realm, but Insidia is on Taran Mill, and that has pushed Taran Mill all the way to the top spot. And Taran Mill also does have some other fairly strong guilds on it as well. So there you go. And a little bit of an update for Trollface.jpg, currently sitting at number 8 on the Anchorage realm with 4 raid bosses killed. Oh yes. And with that, it's time for the mailbox. This one comes in from Vardok, who says, Dear TotalBiscuit, I've been having a problem with guild groups in the Dungeon Finder lately. On more than one occasion, I've been booted from a group for no reason other than to make room for another one of their guildies, or rolling on something that one of them needs. Most of the time, it's in the middle of a heroic, so I also become saved. I would just roll with some guildies myself, but they're not always available. What should I do besides rage? Well, long story short, there isn't actually anything you can do other than rolling with guildies. I understand that sometimes it is not possible to get a full guild group, although if you're in a reasonably sized guild, that should be extremely rare. But you've got to also bear in mind the other side of the coin. It's majority rule, folks. 4 greater than 1. Even if you disagree with the reason why you've been removed, say for a guildie or whatever, still, it's 4 greater than 1. It is the enjoyment of 4 people versus the enjoyment of 1 person, and the needs of the many have to outweigh the needs of the few in this regard. It's just the way that it has to work. Now, what I disagree with is the way that the system currently operates, in that, yes, you can be locked out of a specific instance, although you can queue again in random, and you can get a new ID that way. What happens is when you get kicked out, if you've killed at least 1 boss, then you can't actually re-enter via the dungeon queue system, which is irritating to say the least. I think this could maybe be avoided by putting some more loot into some of the other dungeons, and we had an example yesterday of the lack of tanking braces, and indeed the lack of plate DPS braces in the game at the moment. Maybe if there were more of those, it would be less of a problem if you simply had to re-queue for another random dungeon after the fact. But again, you have to respect the right of the majority to rule in this case. If they wish to remove a single person and 4 people vote yes, then that is the way that it has to be, and that is a reasonable thing, regardless of whether or not their reason is actually legitimate. They do have the right to do that, and the system has to exist in this way, otherwise it simply wouldn't function at all. There is no perfect system, I'm afraid. That's just the way it goes. Another question coming in right here. Hello, TB. I play a Draenei Arcane Mage. Oh, why would you play Arcane? It's so dull. Anyway, I hit level 85 a couple of days ago, and I'm currently finishing up my quests in Twilight Highlands. I've been giving some thought as to which of the new Cataclysm factions would be best to focus grinding up to Revered first, i.e. which tabard should I use. Currently, I've been working on Therazane so I can unlock the Shoulder enchant. Is there another faction that should be a higher priority? In your opinion, what's the optimal order of factions for a mage? Well, in my opinion, it's fairly simple. It's Hyjal. And the reason for Hyjal being the top priority is because of the Arcanum. Yes, indeed. The Hyjal Arcanum for mages is this one right here that you can see on the screen. and there is no other way in the game currently to get anything like this. The reason I would go for this first is that it's an even greater upgrade than the Greater Inscription of Charged Lodestone, and that is actually an exalted item, so that takes ages. So it's going to take you loads and loads of time to get all the way up to Exalted with Therazane, and yet you get a better upgrade from the Arcanum of Hyjal, and you only need Revered for it. So I would take that first, then I would go for Therazane for that particular reason. And of course, bear in mind there's items, but items can always be replaced. Enchants like this really can't. Now, it's very unlikely that they'll bring out a better version of the Arcanum or indeed the Shoulder Enchants at any point during this expansion, so personally I'd get that as quickly as possible and then start applying it to all of the upgrades you get. It's not very expensive, so it's not like that's a big deal. Okay, folks, that's me done for the day. Thanks for watching Azeroth Daily, and I think I'll leave you with this particular image from Failblog right here. As much as I despise the name of the goddamn site, this is particularly amusing. Is it sad that the first thing I noticed was the price of Wrath of the Lich King? Oh dear. I'll see you next time.